So welcome. My name's Teresa Omart, the Sales and Marketing Director here at Terwilliger Plaza. So today's Zoom really is about the culture here. So we've done many other presentations about what it means to buy into a community like Terwilliger, lots of other like health services and other topics. So we are going to focus on the culture. Let's see, I want to introduce Ryan Miller, Jojo, and Jess. Jessica and Jojo are on our marketing team, our membership counselors. They will be speaking a little bit with us today. And then Ryan Miller is our CEO, and I'll ask him to join us right now. And welcome, everyone.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Teresa. It's really neat to see there's a great mix of people on this call. There's existing members. I see a handful of future Parkview members that are depositors eagerly waiting to move into their new apartment homes here at Terwilliger Plaza Parkview. And then, of course, a number of people probably joining us probably for the first time. But we're here today. We're here to talk about committees and community, and that is a huge part of what makes Terwilliger Plaza a great place for people to live, and but also a great place for people to work. And one of the things that we think is really important to contributing to the overall just community feel and aspect here is that the team members of Terwilliger Plaza are a part of that. It's not just about the members that creates this great environment. It's really a partnership between the members and the staff at Terwilliger Plaza. So I appreciate you all joining in today. Look forward to future opportunities to get to meet you when you're here on site. I'll take a couple minutes just to give the latest on where we're at with our Parkview community. If you haven't heard about it, it's a 10-story building right across the street from our legacy campus, and it is connected by a sky bridge. It's got some great amenity spaces that are available and open to the entire community. Terwilliger Plaza really is one campus. We may have multiple buildings, but they're all connected. They all either by hallways or sky bridges, and every aspect of the community is available to every person.
So I'm going to start by sharing a video we recently made where we interviewed some of our current members about some of the committees that we have here at Terwilliger Plaza, and then that'll kind of lead into Jojo introducing some of our members to talk about their own personal experience. So hang tight with me here.
An event that we put on every Saturday morning, and we bring in speakers from government, the arts, we bring in some scientists, people from nonprofits, the Terwilliger audience. It's inquisitive, informed, interested.
My name is Kay Byerly. I'm the co-chair of the Artists in Residence Committee. We're a group of artists, obviously, and there's about a dozen at this point, and we meet once a month. We talk about our art form there, and it's been enlightening to me. Kind of keeps you accountable to keep producing, and but you can bring in old work too. And then the other thing that we're doing is some small classes, kind of use talents of the group. We're doing artist mingles that are for the whole campus. People can come and just go from artist to artist and ask how they're doing it, or they might be doing a demo. And it also lets people know that the artists in residence exist, and maybe they'd like to join in and kind of share some of their work that we didn't even know they were doing or had done in their past. It doesn't have to be that they're producing something every month. It just can be that they have a love of art and like to share some of that with other artists.
There are very many committees at Terwilliger. I choose a couple just for my own enjoyment, such as the Inquiring Mind.
Ever since I was in high school, I've been interested in how people think about things and the intellectual history of Western society. The Inquiring Mind has been around for 15 or 20 years, and what drew me into the Inquiring Mind is that I had a background in philosophy.
During my working years, I really didn't have the luxury to sit down and talk about ideas, philosophical ideas with other people. And the Inquiring Mind, it keeps me active mentally. somebody will come up with a particular text from potentially a book or an essay that they find interesting.
The members who come to the readings volunteer to prepare something to present to other people. And we get together and we read that and then discuss it.
Usually, the person who has brought up that particular text will be the one that will lead the meeting.
It's not full books, but it's excerpts. And we read them sort of paragraph by paragraph and then talk about them.
And hopefully that translates also into something they learn more about their own personal lives that can apply to their own lives as well.
I'm chair of the Faith Exploration Committee, a committee that wants to explore each month a different faith tradition to help people understand the diversity of faith. And the more you understand diversity and celebrate that diversity, the more you have harmony in community.
So that's just a few examples. And again, we're going to learn a lot more about the culture and other opportunities here at Terwilliger today. So Jojo, I'd like to have you take it over.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Good. Okay. So we know there are many different retirement communities to consider and all the emotions and wish lists that people go through for this huge life-changing decision. One of the things people ask me and my colleagues is, who lives here? One of my favorite quotes is from Esther Sumertoyo, one of our members here. And she shared her thoughts after living here for a few months that people are down-to-earth, progressive intellectuals, people who want to make the world and our city a better place. And I love that. I've stolen that from her, borrowed it. But it's not just that, though. We have people from so many different interests, curiosity seekers, risk takers, educators, musicians, art lovers, lifelong learners. Our members are connected through their past careers and or their passions, and it's a passion for volunteering, for fitness practices, science, city living. We've got members who participate in Solve. I know I've noticed on our Zoom that we've got people from coast to coast here. Solve has been around, I'm not for sure, I want to say the late 60s maybe. And it's a mission to clean up our rivers, beaches, cities to improve our environment. But so we've got people that go out there when Solve has those dates to help clean up. I love that. If we don't have a committee or a group, you can start one. Every month, there's new members joining our community, and with that brings new ideas, new experiences, new gifts to share. I love that. A couple examples, Dushwin, who moved here from Germany last year, she just recently started an art therapy program because that was her career. And so that's her gift to us. We love it. We also have Elliot Trummold. I don't know much about it, but he started something called Making Sense of the 21st Century. I think that would be a fun one to go to. But what I'm saying is that our members are the ones that create the culture here. And you don't have to ask yourself if you're going to fit in. We want you to just be you. And so with that, I see that Stephanie Roberts has made it. Wasn't quite sure if she was going to make it. So I'd like to introduce a couple of our staff members. And then after that, a little bit later, we're going to be talking to some of our members and hear what their daily life is like here. So I'm going to pass the torch over to Stephanie Roberts. She's our Director of Community Life here. And also Sharon is our Community Life Manager. They are both on. And I would love it if you would share something about our social accountability group, the conversation partners. I think that's kind of fascinating. People might want to learn about that. And maybe the tour committee, anything else that you might want to put a plug in for.
Yeah, thank you, Jojo. Hi, I'm Stephanie. One thing I was thinking about as you were talking about some of the groups that were newer, we have a new member named Rita Meek who actually just started a card making group as well, like really, really, really good fancy cards. And she is having groups now down in one of the arts and crafts rooms. And that group is going strong. So it's a wonderful thing to be able to bring things that you have done, your hobbies or even like your work, and be able to bring it to the plaza and have others join in with you. So it is a really awesome thing that you can do here. Some of the things that we go over in community life is, like Jojo said, the Social Accountability Committee. Our Social Accountability Committee has been probably going for about 15 years. It's changed over the years, but the mission has always been the same, and that's for our members to provide volunteer opportunities, donations. We do all different kinds of drives for the community. So we work with the Oregon Food Bank. We work with Schoolhouse Supplies. We just got done with our school supply drive. We partner with Schoolhouse Supplies and KGW News, and we have a school supply drive at our facility. So it's really fun. Some other ones that we're going to be doing coming up soon. We're in the middle of one with Lift Up Portland. We're collecting warm gloves, hats, and scarves for Preston's Pantry down in Goose Hollow. So that's one donation drive that we're doing right now. And then we have a holiday stockings where we have the St. Mary's Academy girls come up and they decorate stockings with our assisted living members. And then the committee stuffs little toiletries and things, and we give it to IRCO, which is Immigrant Refugee Organization. So it's a really awesome committee. We do have members that have been on there for almost the entire time because they support that mission so much. Some other things that we do, Molly is one of my staff. She's the lifestyle coordinator, and she actually oversees the tour committee, which is a member staff committee run that develops different trips and things for all of our members to go on. They have about 2 trips a month, and they go all over the place. We also have Buzz's Adventures, which is our new driver, decided that he wanted to have his own adventures. So every month, I think in December, he even has 2 or 3 that he's doing. So just lots of fun outings and things that the team and the members together put together for all the members to enjoy. Sharon, did you have anything that you wanted to say?
I can talk about conversation partners.
Perfect.
Okay, sounds good. Good morning, everybody. I'm Sharon. I'm the community life manager here. So today I'm going to talk to you about our conversation partners. So conversation partners, we partner with a community called Rose Schnitzer Tower, and we work with other immigrants who want to learn how to speak English, and we pair them up with a member from our community and they converse. So we get to learn a little bit about their culture and they learn about our culture. And it's a great time because we get to coordinate a bus. We go to their community. Sometimes they come to our community. They have holidays together, and we get to really learn about culture and their history and our history. And it's something that we've been doing for many years. With COVID, we didn't meet for a little bit due to COVID, but now we're just starting that up again. And we're getting a lot of great feedback from our community about how interesting that opportunity is. So if you ever get a chance to join, I really encourage you to.
Thank you, Sharon. You guys are valuable. We love it. So I next want to pass the torch over to Jessica Moon, because part of the culture here is really city living, where we are. So she's going to give you some snippets of all the exciting things that are around our area. So over to you, Jess. She's in the office next to me.
Yes. Hello. So we don't want to take for granted if people are considering a community, one of the big aspects isn't just what's available within the community, but also in the surrounding kind of area And not everybody is as familiar with Portland or even the west side. Some people have lived on the east side the whole time and don't really know what's available on the west side. So we're going to take a little field trip if my share screen cooperates. Crossing fingers here. Do you guys see the building right now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I want to make it a little bit bigger here. So this is our community. This is the original structure. This is the tower. This has 200 independent living apartments in it. We also have our Heights building right here, which has 48 independent living apartments. This is our terrace assisted living building. There is now a sky bridge that connects right here across 6th Avenue. And this video that I'm showing you is actually a 360-degree view from what is the rooftop of the Parkview building. So it's really handy so that I can give you kind of a zoom around town here. So right across the street from our campus is Dunaway Park. This is a very popular city park, lots of hiking trails. You can go, there's a beautiful lilac garden right here. There is Terwilliger Boulevard, which is miles and miles of paved walking. There's hiking trails and paths here. OHSU is up on the hill right here. We've got the South Waterfront, lots of restaurants, lots of boutiques, lots of shops. The Lair Hill neighborhood is right here. Really cool architecture to see. We're by the Portland waterfront. There is all kinds of great walking paths down there. The Telecom Crossing Bridge. We've got a beautiful view there. The Portland waterfront. And then we're not too far from downtown Portland. So you could walk very easily over to PSU, the Keller Auditorium, the Schnitz, the Portland Art Museum, Oregon Historical Society. PSU, which is kind of right here, has an auditing program for people that are over 65 to audit classes. There's also a farmer's market that happens there year round that a lot of our members walk to. And then we're kind of right back over by campus. There are all kinds of really great restaurants, lots of great shops. So if you're considering moving to the west side for the first time or to Portland, it's just a really kind of Goldilocks location where you can come out of the campus and turn left and walk for 8 to 10 minutes and be in downtown. Or you can come out of campus and turn right and be in the forest. The Markham Trailhead is right there. That connects to all kinds of hiking trails. So Piddock Mansion, Council Crest, Hoyt Arboretum, all of those trails connect really close to our campus. Lots of good biking in the area too. And then there is the track right here where a lot of our members go and get their steps in if they don't have a lot of time but want to get outside and get some exercise. Any questions?
Jessica,
Yes.
can you talk about transportation access?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So right in front of our campus is the number 8 bus right here, and its sister is right here. It goes up to OHSU, or it's just a really quick trip down over to the PSU area that connects with the streetcar and the MAX line. So you can really easily commute through the entire city.
Yeah. Hi, this is Marianne. I was confused about the buses. I see that the 8 goes to the place, but I also saw that it seemed like you had to catch it down below, and that there was kind of a steep hill between the bus stop and the building. Is it all pretty much on grade, or how does that work?
So Marianne, for members that live inside the building, there is a really easy way to get through from all of the buildings because all of our buildings are connected via Skybridge, including Parkview. So there's really good ways to walk through the building to use this elevator bank. So you don't have to go down the hill, and it lets out right at the bus stop right here. Or you could just hop across the street on the crosswalk, and there's the one right here. So you wouldn't have to navigate that hill at all.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Ika, can you hear me? This is Dennis.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, Dennis.
We live in what we consider an ideal location. It's right opposite 23rd Street and in a high rise off Burnside. We have excellent shops. Zupan's is 5 minutes away, and terrific restaurants, other shops. What would be the closest walking distance to, say, a good bakery or to a place where we could have an excellent lunch?
Well-
and what shopping comparable to Zupan's?
So for walkability to get to a grocery shopping store, that's going to be a little bit further, especially if you're carrying back groceries. But we do several grocery shopping runs every week on our bus schedule. So they go to New Seasons and they go to, I think, Trader Joe's and lots of other places. But for walkability, just full disclosure, people that have worked with me know this. I live kind of right behind this tree right here. So I am also a neighbor here. So I live in the same community. Do my grocery shopping, I go on Terwilliger Boulevard out to the Hillsdale Basics, which is probably the closest, but there's also a Zupan's down on Macadam. And then there's all kinds of restaurants. So the closest walking to a restaurant would be kind of in this direction down Barber Boulevard. There's a Cara Amico restaurant. In the Lair Hill neighborhood, there's the Lair Hill Bistro, as well as the Ross Island Grocer. There's a really great little Thai restaurant that opened a couple years ago on Corbett. And there's an Elephants on Corbett as well, Elephants Delicatessen. If any of you are from Portland, that's a really popular one. But if you were to go the opposite direction into downtown, I should really get a commission for Duck House Chinese food at this point, because I think I've sold like 1 million soup dumplings for them. That's kind of right over in this area. There's Chinese food, there's pizza, there's sandwich shops, there's coffee shops, tea houses, there's pho. There's really just all kinds of stuff because it's so close to the PSU, which also has the food trucks right there. So you can go and just get a plethora of different food options at the food trucks as well. The Portland waterfront is a little bit further of a walk, but there is a McCormick and Schmidt's and a great Italian restaurant. There's a sushi place over there. So there's a lot of stuff that's pretty close, and depending on your mobility, it's walkable or just a short trip over to get access to a lot of those things.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions about that before I stop sharing my screen? All right. Okay. So, and of course, we'll have a section near the end. If anybody has any questions, you can put your questions in the chat, or at the end, we'll have a question and answer session. At this point, I'm going to introduce one of our members. Her name is Linda Mather. She's going to talk about self-governance. She's had an incredible history and role here with the self-governance of our community, but she's also just a terrific person. And I'm going to hand it over to her to introduce herself. Linda.
Thank you with that introduction. The main place for self-governance for us is the board of directors. Unlike a lot of other organizations, our board is directly elected by members. The board is 11 people, 5 from the outside, that is, they do not live here. They brings current legal, financial expertise to us. The other 6 of us live here. So the members are able to vote on all of those 11 members directly. And the 6 people who live here are very different in the sense that those of you who may have looked at other CCRCs, if you're lucky, there's 1 member, maybe 2 members on the board, and they may or may not have a vote. In this case, it's all on us, if you will. And to give you an example then, the board is basically charged with the viability of Terwilliger Plaza. We have to make this place not only good now, but in the future, and make it financially viable. So last year, one of our main activities was finding and hiring our new CEO, who you met at the beginning. And that's again different. It isn't that a corporate entity plopped this person in here and said, okay, here's your new CEO. The board designed and ran the search process. And when I say that, there's also any number of opportunities for member input. So for example, we had visioning sessions. we had other kinds of input allowed or afforded. At the same time, and it just happened yesterday, since we announced our new rate increases, those again are not coming from someplace on the outside, from some corporate entity. The staff starts about July, massaging the expenses, requirements, etc. And then by about September, there's a finance committee, again, made up of both members and board people, and they continue to massage, if you will, through September and October, coming up with a recommendation for what the rate increase, and maybe someday it would be a decrease, but we're in this world, increase for the coming year. So in that sense, again, the members are the ones who dictate, at least in terms of input, what the board is able to do. The other thing I'd like to say about this board is it's has a high standard of governance. So together with the administration, and for about 25 years, we have sought and received CARF accreditation, which is the National Organization for Accreditation. We also, 3 years ago, joined an insurance conglomerate called Caring Communities, which certainly had a financial piece, but you just don't join. You have to be accepted, and there are certain requirements that you, have to be accepted. Again, in terms of transparency, we complete, which we have to do, a 990 for the federal government. We have an audit every year. We have a Fitch standing. Things like the audit and the 990 are all available in the library and on the line, so that there's a great deal of transparency. And I think I'll stop at that point.
Okay, so I am now going to introduce, and I hope I say her name right, I've been practicing, Joan Jozuyak, who is in charge of our Friday night music program. So Joan, do you want to talk a little bit about your involvement with that? Oh, and let's have you unmute. Let's see here.
Okay,
There we go.
here we go. It's actually Jazwiak. It's a little tricky, but thank you for trying.
I really did try. Jazwiak.
Friday night music is just that. It's music here. Every Friday night we have a program. Once in a while it needs to be on Saturday or some other night because of the musicians that are coming, but there's usually something every Friday night. I would say the majority of it is classical music, but we also have jazz, bluegrass is coming up, a variety of things. So we invite outside musicians, and sometime once in a while from somebody within Terwilliger to come and perform for us. They present an hour program, 7:30 to 8:30, and we pay them $150 per musician. Unless you bring a group of 300, then we have a blank $300 usually fee that we pay. We are fortunate to get quite a few people from the Oregon Symphony. I have connections with quite a few people there, and actually the Oregon Symphony is really interested in bringing or sending musicians to play for us. So last spring they sent quite a few, which we didn't have to pay for because they wanted to promote their musicians. But somebody asked me, how do you find these people? And I just said, I kind of keep my feelers up. And whenever I hear about somebody or some group, perhaps on the radio or wherever, I contact them to see if they might be interested to come and play for us. Everybody seems to enjoy the music, And I think it's best live. It is also broadcast on our closed circuit TV also. So Friday Night Music is just that.
Thank you, Joan. We appreciate everything that you do to color our lives with music. I would like to turn the mic over to, let's see, I'm looking for the Greaves. Oh, there they are, Margaret and Tom. And Tom, when we chatted earlier, he needed to step away and get some bread that he was baking out of the oven. And I also know that Dave Culpepper, he bakes bread. So I'm thinking maybe another committee on bread baking. What do you think? Over to you, Tom and Margaret.
Do you want to start? Well, I'm Tom, and we have well gotten ourselves into a number of things around the campus of Terwilliger. One of the things I do, well, besides baking bread, is I'm involved with the wood shop. I was an apprentice cabinet maker in college, and so crafting wood things has been a part of my skill set for quite a long time. We have but the wonderful thing is that although I had, before we moved here, a pretty well-stocked workshop in the various places we lived. When I got here, I discovered that I have access to a quality of tools, both power tools and bench tools and all kinds of things that I never had in my previous unretired life. So there's wonderful quality to it, including a SawStop table saw where, you've always seen, although we never test this, that, that you can put a hot dog into it and it bang stops immediately and so forth, which is a very expensive kind of saw, but one that just underscores the safety issues. Anyway, so the wood shop is run by a committee, and I'm happy to serve on that. And it's pretty busy, and people bring in things, or often there's you can use wood that supplies and other supplies which are already there, and it's an important thing because you're living, particularly your apartment often has little things it needs, a shelf here or a repair to a chair or something like this. And so the wood shop serves a lot of different purposes for each of the members. So there's that. I'm going to say one more thing, which takes us a little bit off of committees. But there is a wellness center and a whole program here on staying fit. And it's really a remarkable theme that sort of pervades Terwilliger, in that it's justified as saying that you will add years to your lives, likely, and that you will also have better quality of life down the road if you stay fit. And so there's wonderful equipment here and a pretty widespread participation on both the in-house equipment and facilities, but also in terms of walks and treks and so forth. And that's where I'm going to let Margaret take this on, because she also is strongly involved in those things.
Hi, I'm Margaret Greaves, and I have to say hello to Carol Manners.
Yes.
We're related, and Carol and Gary are going to move here, and we're thrilled. Anyway, we come from Pennsylvania. I have been a couch potato all my life. And when we got here, I decided to change my way of living. And so I joined the aerobics program. So I take floor aerobics Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I swim in the pool for swim aerobics Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And it's a wonderful thing for me, it's at 8:30 every morning. It's also at 9:30, but I'm an early riser. For an hour, we meet men and women. Today, for the first time, there were more men in the floor aerobics class than women. There were, I've forgotten, maybe 15 of us, and the majority were men, which is really an amazing thing. And we have a wonderful time because in the morning, the first thing you meet your friends, you talk about what's going on. Everybody gets there a little bit early, and we discuss the ongoing topics of the day, while we're warming up, working out, warming up. And it's been a joy. It's the thing I do 5 days a week, every morning at 8:30. And who knew that I would ever do such a thing? So that and all the people who encourage me, and my blood pressure is now normal. Hey, for the first time in 80 years. And so it's really a terrific thing. Of course, maybe you can tell, I'm a little bit of a social person, so I do social things too. I'm part of the welcoming committee, a guide for all of you who are going to move into Parkview and who are going to move into Terwilliger. You may see me and you may see Tom help you learn the complexities of living here, but the joys of living here. It's really a terrific place. We had no idea when we moved here, and we have been thrilled. There is a potluck dinner the first Monday of every month. And for the members that exist now, you get an invitation maybe once a year because it takes that long to get everybody involved. But you meet all new people. You sit and have dinner with people that you probably might not see and make new friends, learn people's names and what they do. And there isn't a single person that doesn't have an interesting story. We love it here.
Good work.
Thank you, Tom and Margaret. I think you might want to mention one more thing about the happy hours that be in the Heights for your floors.
That's true. There's a happy hour every Wednesday afternoon at 4, which is for the entire community. That's not just the Heights, which is where we live. That's for the Tower 2 and for Parkview too, when those poor people who are waiting actually get in their lovely apartments. And the floors themselves can have, where we sort of segregate by floors. You get to know the people on your floor best, and then you branch out. And so we also attend the happy hour of floors 1 through 4, but we're on 6, but we go anyway. And so
Party crash.
We're party crashers. And so there are all kinds of social events which help you meet people and learn about them.
Good.
Thank you so much for sharing a sliver of your life here at Terwilliger Plaza. I want to pass the mic over to Yvonne and George Ammerman, if you want to unmute.
Hello, Jojo.
Hello, Yvonne. She loves to on the pool. I've seen her, and I've seen you down at happy hour.
Oh, you know it. I love my happy hours.
In a number of things. So tell us about what you guys do here.
I don't start one. Well, I love happy hours. As Margaret mentioned, we have a happy hour on Tuesday, plus just for a few Heights people, Heights floors. And then on Wednesday, like Margaret said, we have the happy hour for the whole community. So I love going to happy hours, no question about it. And I love going to my French conversational group, which is twice a month now, which is open to anybody, even if you don't speak French. You know, everyone is welcome. You know, if you have took high school French or college French and you want to, review or just sit and listen to the people speaking French, it's very, very fun. There's all kinds of fluency levels, when this French group, from very fluent to high school French, not so fluent. So it's very fun. And George and I are both on the art committee.
And tell us about that.
Hey, George.
One of the things I enjoy about the art committee is organizing special exhibits. They typically run for about 4 months. A year ago, I organized one on Parkview construction photos. We had several photographers, and I particularly liked the large machines and the workers and their bright colored outfits. And there was another photographer that liked the sunrises and the time exposures at night. And there were some photographers that got very abstract with geometric patterns and sort of symbolic shapes of the grid patterns and so forth. So amazing what different photographers would see in the construction project. Another activity I've been involved in, we moved in 4 years ago. A couple months after I moved in, neighbors were taking the Portland neighborhood emergency team training that was held here in Terwilliger Plaza. I think there were about maybe 50 people, mostly from the outside, but about 10 who live here. And the Portland neighborhood emergency team trains people how to respond in a disaster. I mean, we practice things like basic first aid and how to use a fire extinguisher and how to extricate people from pieces of furniture that have fallen over. So we have committees here in Terwilliger Plaza, the Disaster Response Committee that trains people how to go up and down the hall and check on people to see if they're all right or their apartment is damaged. There's a similar committee that helps people prepare for disasters, like getting special picture hooks that will withstand vibrations and special cabinet latches that will keep your kitchen cabinets closed so that the glassware and dishes don't all fall out onto the kitchen floor. We had 2 employees from the maintenance department come in, and it only took them an hour to use straps to secure 2 large pieces of furniture in our apartment to keep them from falling over. So the Disaster Preparation Committee helps people prepare for resiliency. So many communities here at Terwilliger Plaza, and it's just amazing. Once you move in, I don't think it'll take too long to get involved in the wide variety of activities.
George, aren't you on our finance committee too?
Well, I started out as a member of the Terwilliger Plaza Foundation Finance Committee. We also have a finance committee for the Terwilliger Plaza Board. We have a separate board for the Terwilliger Plaza Foundation. So the Terwilliger Plaza makes grants to help improve the quality of life of people here at the plaza, and also to support the Lesta Hoel Memorial Trust. The Lesta Hoel Memorial Trust is a sort of last resort that people who exhaust their financial resources can use money from the Lesta Hoel Memorial Trust, who otherwise might have to be forced to move out. So no one's had to move out because of this trust fund. So that's another activity, the Terwilliger Plaza Foundation Board.
Thank you very much for sharing that. There's a couple more people I want to introduce, but I want to go back to Linda Mather. You are, I don't know if you're a host or leader of the League of Women Voters. That's been coming here for years.
Yes, it has. Well before me, we meet about 6 times a year, and it really goes back to Stephanie and social accountability, because really what it means is that Terwilliger Plaza is affording us the space and some of the support systems in terms of computer access, etc. But we meet, as I said, about 6 times a year. And right now we're up to about 15 members.
Wonderful. Now, I'm going to thank you, Linda. Pass the mic over to Don. Don Van Diver. He is involved in so many things around here. He received the Frank W. White Service Award last year, which means he's like the Volunteer of the Year extraordinaire. So thank you, Don, for everything you do. I know I'm curious about the IT users group. I know you're also involved in the arts around here.
Sure. The folks so far have done a great job of covering some of the activities that I'm involved in. The wood shop, I'm a member of that. The artworks committee, the artists in residence as a photographer, and the IT users group. I'll get to them in a minute, but I wanted to add a little about the artworks committee because we've been very busy getting ready for Parkview. Our estimate is we currently have a collection of about 1,200 pieces in our collection. And those are the ones that you see they're all displayed on our walls throughout the campus. And Parkview involved expanding the collection to another 200 pieces. And so we've been acquiring those new pieces and splitting them halfway. So half of the new pieces are going to the current campus, half are going to Parkview, and then we're supplementing those by moving another 100 pieces from the current collection over to Parkview. So when you go into Parkview, you'll see that the art in the hallways will look very similar to what you see in the current campus. I got started because I love to putty, so there's always a need for working on frames or framing new pieces. And that takes me into the wood shop also. Another activity is the IT users group, and we adopted or changed our technology. You'll see around the campus these electronic bulletin boards. There are a lot of other aspects of technology, but we were able to get the company that we selected called Icon currently, and the application is called Community Engagement. But and you'll see it on your. It's available to all members who have PCs or laptops or iPads to announce what's going on at Terwilliger. And when we started, there were some improvements that residents had that they'd like to see. And so I was able to work with the administration and the vendor to incorporate several of those. So the community engagement application you'll see today reflects a lot of the input from members. So those are my primary activities as a volunteer. I might also say that I think the volunteer culture here is one of the major strengths of the community also, because it does create a sense of community, no matter what your interests are.
Don, can you tell us about the Inquiring Mind?
Sure. That's it started as to cover primarily ancient Greek philosophy or ancient philosophy, and but it's expanded now, and so we cover. I've delivered presentations and led discussions on aspects of science, economics. So it's open to just about any intellectual pursuit that you're interested in, and it's a great group of folks because they're not limited to any particular specialty. As Victor Quiroz mentioned, I think we all of us who are curious welcome this opportunity now to indulge our curiosities in ways we never were able to previously when we had to make a living.
What about the latest art installment outside the auditorium? Fascinating.
Oh, yes. That was from a member who also curates art at a local church. And one of his exhibits was representing immigrants. And so if you can take that in, it represents the stories behind folks who have immigrated to the U.S. And there's a wide variety, including one of our members is profiled. And so it includes not only the story of how they came to the U.S., but also what single possession that they were able to bring with them that characterized their culture that they brought to the U.S.
Thank you, Don. Thanks for all you do.
Sure.
I see Helen Westbrook on here. Helen, are you? No, there you are. Helen is on our board, but she's also part of the Friends of Terwilliger Boulevard. I thought you might want to give a plug in for that.
Okay, well, thanks, Jojo. Friends of Terwilliger Parkway is a nonprofit organization associated with Portland Parks and Rec. And what our little organization does is advocate for the Parkway, which is just across the street from us, literally. It's it starts a 2.5 mile linear park that goes up over the hill and down over to Capitol Highway. There's a walking pathway along the way, and on each side of Terwilliger Boulevard are areas that are preserved as basically wild parklands. It's just a joy to have it right across the street and very accessible. And I am an official litter picker upper for Portland Parks and Rec, and I try and do that every single morning.
Thank you, Helen.
Mm-hmm.
There's a question that Stephanie Roberts wants to answer from Judy Fisher about an art studio.
Yeah, so just to answer your question, Judy, we have a room that's called the Arts and Crafts Room right now that's on the 2nd floor by the deli. And in that room there we have a lot of different art groups that get together. That you can have any type of class in there. It's kind of a room where anybody can kind of have any type of class. But we already have got approval for some funds from the foundation to revamp that room to make it more of an art studio. We're going to take out the flooring. We're going to be adding some cupboards, some spatial tables so that we can have standing easels. We're going to be putting some supplies in there for painting and things like that. So we're really trying to make that room more of an art studio place where people can have art classes, or I've seen some members just reserve that room and just do their own art because there's so many windows. So the light is really good in that room. So it's used for all different kinds of things, but that's coming very soon.
Thank you, Stephanie. With that, we are at about an hour. Is there any other questions? I don't think we see anything else. Let's see. Oh, actually, Stephanie, there is another question in there. How do people find out about all the groups and committees?
Yeah, so we keep a running list of all member committees and groups, and we usually give you a printout of that. It has the name of the group or committee, who their contact person is, and their phone number, and we usually give that to every member at orientation. I also know that the resident council keeps a good list of all of the resident council committees, but you would get that at orientation, so you can find all the committees and groups that you want.
Thank you, Stephanie. Well, I hope that all of you have a better sense of what colorful characters there are here at Terwilliger Plaza. And the floor is still open if anybody has any other questions regarding the culture here, or if any of our members that are on board want to say anything else. Tom, I see you had your hand up.
I just wanted to add that there's a sector, a sizable sector here at Terwilliger, which has not been mentioned today as part of our community, and that's the staff and employees of Terwilliger Plaza. I don't have the number offhand as to how many there are, but we have a large number of people who support us, whether it's in the food services and the hallway and the cleaning and on and on and on. And we are just finishing the annual voluntary donations from the members that provide a kind of bonus once a year for our employees, divided equally among all of them. And we raised about $150,000 this year alone, and more than that. And so each year, I think the volume and the size of the money that is donated by the membership speaks to the fact that we value these people and we see them as friends and as colleagues and as strong supporters of Lifeway here.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Tom. We're so grateful for all of our members here. They definitely improve our lives. We love it. Teresa, do you want to close it out?
Thank you so much again for everyone joining, and then certainly if you have any questions or want to set up a time to take a tour, please reach out to us. Thank you so much.